viewers, my name's Kara and I'm your Tuesday host on the Pagan Perspective. This week we are talking about how our videos are the equivalent of putting energy out to the universe, and if that's true, why people spend so much time making videos about negative things. The full text of the question will be in the info because it is kind of a long question, and we like you to be able to see all of it, so you can read that first. I'll give you a second. Go ahead, pause the video. So, I mostly agree with this sentiment, and I don't feel that I disagree enough to call it disagreeing, but I do also think something somewhat contradictory to this idea, so I think that qualifies as disagreeing. I agree that it doesn't make much sense for a person who believes in magic and believes in putting energy out to the universe, bringing back to us the same type of energy that we put out, to constantly, consistently make videos about negative things. I think it must get old after a while to never have anything positive to say, but I know I've definitely seen some channels where that's all the person does. I mean, I watch one person on YouTube who makes negative videos on purpose, but that's because that's her shtick, like that's her personality character on YouTube. That's just what her channel is about. And I think that's different because it's kind of for a humorous effect, but if we're talking about people who just vlog and only talk about the negative things in their life, I agree. It doesn't make much sense to believe that you would be putting energy out there and not think that you would get negative things back. So it is a vicious cycle in that case. However, this is the somewhat disagreeing part. I also personally think it's very helpful in my real life as well as on YouTube to complain about things every once in a while. I'm the type of person who gets very angry about specific things, and I deal with it mostly by speaking. And the way that I get anger out of myself is to speak it. Writing it sometimes helps. If I blog a little something about it or if I text it to someone, it's kind of the same thing, but communicating it, I have to get it out of me somehow that way. So sometimes I do make videos talking about subjects in general that really anger me or stuff that's been bothering me. I think it's healthy to let that out sometimes and not just totally ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. I don't think that it makes sense to deny yourself that right to talk about a negative thing if it's something that you really need to get out of your system. But I do think that there needs to be a balance there. And actually there's been a lot of negative going on with me in my life, and there could have been a lot more negative videos on my channel recently, but because I knew this topic was coming up, I had it on my mind, and I thought about making the video or whatever, and 3 or 4 different times I thought, I don't need to make that video. I can deal with it in another way, and by the next day it's gone. I think that's a good rule. It was either my director in college these past 4 years or the counselor that I started seeing, I can't remember which, that told me that if something was really bothering me, to try my best not to do anything about it until the next day. And if it was still really bothering me by the next day, then I could go ahead and address it, but chances are it wasn't actually that big of a deal, and by the next day I was over it, so I didn't need to make the video or rant to my friend or whatever. So I find that that's a pretty good rule to go by, so that's what I have been doing, knowing that this topic was on my mind. But in the same vein, if there are negative things going on in your life, I don't think that it is important for you to put on a brave face and come up with positive things to talk about if you really just need to deal with a down situation in your life. We all go through ups and downs, and if you're in that valley, go ahead and be in that valley for a while until you can climb back up. That's what I've come up with for myself, at least. It's great to be happy. It is. I think we all love it. And if you honestly get to be happy and wonderful all the time, that is so great for you. But if you do come across that rough time, I think you should be able to make a video about it and not worry about any little thing you say kind of coming back and hitting you in a video magic kind of sense. Part of the question was also, have we noticed a pattern with the kind of videos we make coming back with our lives? I haven't really, at least not consciously. But whenever negative things do come up in my life, there tend to be a lot of negative things at once, and then it kind of tapers off. I haven't really paid much attention to whether that's only when I make a video about the negative thing and then more happens, or what. Of course I believe that that could be how it works. Making videos is putting energy out there to me, and that's why I do put so much energy into these videos, and I know that a lot of you get that. You like to watch people whose energy is interesting or intriguing or entertaining to you, and people who are of an energy that doesn't suit you as well, you don't like to watch their videos as much. I don't know if I would purposely do a video spell, like on purpose. Spells that I do just tend to be very personal, and I don't share a lot of exact things that I do on here anyway. I share my thoughts and ideas a lot, and I might show pictures and I might talk about things that I've done, but I don't really ever like do a spell in a video. So I don't know how I would personally feel about doing video spells. But I definitely agree, and I understand that it could work that way. So I think if you are making a lot of negative videos, maybe you should take a step back and think about how you could balance that out and figure out why you're making so many negative videos. Is it because it's funny and that's your thing, like the person that I really like to watch? Or is it just because that's so much what's going on in your life right now? If it's justified to you, then I think it's whatever. So I agree and I disagree with that topic, and that's gonna be all I have to say. I didn't even want to talk for this long, so I will see you guys next time, and the collab's anniversary is coming up in a couple weeks. We're gonna be starting the 4th year of the collab, so it'll be the collab's 3rd anniversary, beginning of the 4th year. And we have enough topics in the list right now that if I don't combine any of them, if we don't get any similar ones, we have enough to cover the next 6 months. Yep. So if you don't have an absolute burning question, we've got plenty to take us through a while yet. So anything new that you send in, we will not get to it for several months unless it's very similar to something we already have, and then I'll put them together. And yes, as Rich said, he and some people that he knows in real life have started an Etsy selling records that is vinyl. I actually love records, but I'm not a collector because I don't have money to be. But my grandma has a lot, and so when I was growing up, we liked to listen to her Italian love songs on vinyl. Those were good times. So if you're into that kind of thing, please check out Rich's Etsy. I will also give a plug to that on my personal channel the next time I talk about my Etsy. I have made some new things which are sitting over there and they haven't been posted yet. So there's my Etsy, there's what does everybody else do? Charlie is on another collab channel. Brendan is touring the United States right now, so if you haven't been following his videos on his tour, go check out his channel. Dancing Rabbit wrote a book, and if you haven't read it yet, you should get it because it's great and I highly recommend it to everyone. Everybody else is just really awesome. I don't know if anybody else is doing specific projects or not. Eric is currently without internet, so you won't see him tomorrow, but he will be back soon. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.